final score was, but they lost by two or three. I think two-run single in the game. Had a couple strikeouts pitching last night, so all in all, a good night, for Jared. Smoked. They got a brand new bat, and he celebrated his first game with a new bat by smoking a two-run single. And the right field.
What's the bat? What's the bat this year? There's always a bat that they have
You
to
know
have.
what? I have to tell you something. Listen, you know this growing up with Nicole playing softball. Everyone. It seems like a lot in baseball. So whatever sport it is, kids are always trying to outdo each other with this bat costs $200 and this bat costs $300 and this bat costs five. It's like it's the person that's standing there on the plate too. Like that, like
Well, in the pros they use wooden bats, so
right, they have wooden bats. So like you have these top three and this BB core and that.
titanium.
I remember when Bradley played Little League and the coach, thought in the batter's box can't hit the ball. The bat is irrelevant. So Jared wanted to get a brand new bat for the new season. He was so happy to shop. Go. And again, Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethlehem.
Video's fine. All the video's fine. You might have to just do a new audio. And Chris is now texting me back. All right. Ready? There you go. You guys ready to go?
Welcome back. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, Sports Bash, presented by ticketbash.com. We are waiting for our... We are having an audio problem this morning with that, so we're going to try to, at the very least, get a replay up for you later on in the day. We'll try to sync the audio up with the video a little bit later on. These are things that happen. You know, technology is a crazy thing, Vinny, right? With anything in life.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes, you know, stuff happens. I could say something else, but yeah, stuff does happen. It's a family program, so I won't go any deeper than that. Coming up on the show, we're going to have our Sports Bash poll. We're going to have This Day in Sports History. We've got 10 seconds, and we're going to welcome back in our radio audience, coming back in just a couple of moments. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by ticketbash.com. 631-451-1039 is the number to call here on the show. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets. Before we get to our Sports Bash media poll question, let's go to the phone lines and welcome in Kevin in Massapequa. Kevin, you're up first today here on Sports Bash. How you doing?
Okay. How are you, Pete? How are you, Vinny? My question is, what are the Yankees going to be doing by the trade deadline? Are they going to go out for a catcher or bullpen help or something?
Well, Kevin, thank you again for the phone call. Look, I think the Yankees are going to be very active at the trading deadline. I don't know if they're going to go and try and find a catcher. I think they might want to try and truck through this with Austin Wells and Jose Trevino, but I don't know if catcher is the Yankees' biggest need right now. I think they want to get probably
I would say an arm and an infielder.
An arm and infielder.
Infielder that could be a utility guy that could play a couple of different positions in the infield.
And the legend of Alex Verdugo is running thin a little bit too, so they might be in the market for a left fielder. Listen, the Yankee lineup has to get better. They'll get Stanton back. That will help. They'll give more of a presence, but. I think if there's a catcher out there, Kevin, that the Yankees can stumble upon and think that it's better than what they have, I think they'll look at it. But I don't think it's their most pressing concern.
Okay.
All right, Kev.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the phone call, and thanks for listening and watching.
I have an idea for Verdugo. Take the chain off.
Take the chain off.
Change it a little bit. Change something. Take the chain off. Maybe it's weighing you down. That thing's got to weigh 10 pounds around his neck. Take the chain off. Try something different.
My wife, Cheryl, always says, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah.
And there you go. Yeah. So that maybe that's what Alex Verdugo needs to do. Are we under the impression now that the audio has been fixed on the stream? It has been. So
that's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. That's always good to hear. So we're going to try and correct the tune in later on Facebook and YouTube later in the day when we do post the video. We'll try to sync the audio from the radio onto the video and just hang with us today. It's just, a rough patch that we're going through on the show. It is time for the Sports Bash Media Poll Question. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X and Twitter page. First, let's look at the results of yesterday's question. And should MetLife Stadium switch to a grass field? And although I forgot to put the numbers on the script, it is overwhelmingly, it was 91% everyone thinks that they should switch to a grass field.
So why do you think that most people feel that way? I have my opinion why, but why do you think most people feel that way?
Because I think the prevailing thought is that the turf causes the injuries. Now, is it turf in general that causes the injuries, or is it the type of turf that MetLife Stadium has? Because we've seen an inordinate number of athletes, mainly football players, get hurt on the MetLife Stadium field, which I believe they've already switched once. I believe they already took out one of them and put in another one. So the prevailing thought is, all right, put in grass and you won't get hurt. Now, I remember when we had Dr. Pacey on from Orland and Cohen, and he said that there's really, I'm paraphrasing here, I don't think there's the data that shows that. I think it's more of a prevailing thought and an opinion by people, because if you've got a grass field, here's the problem with a grass field. If you don't take care of it, then you're going to have more problems.
Dr. Pacey spoke about that. And keep in mind that, when you're on a professional field, of course it's going to be, most of the times, it's going to be level, well manicured, right? There's no divots. When you talk about a high school, a junior high school, college field, when you use grass at those locations, it's really, really, really tough to maintain it.
That's why they invest on the turf.
Right. But what I'm saying is that when you're on grass, you get a hard rain one day, you want to play the game the next day, the field is soft, you're getting those imprints, those divots in the grass. So it's actually, he brought out a great point about that. If you don't have the money to maintain a grass field, you're probably better off with a turf field.
So obviously NFL teams would have the money for the grass field. Here's the other problem too, and this was a problem at Giant Stadium also, because when the World Cup was here in '94, they put the grass down. They tried it out for an exhibition game. They decided to put grass in. It's hard with two teams, and at the time, the Metro Stars / Red Bulls were playing soccer at Giant Stadium too. So you had soccer, a soccer team, two football teams, college football, high school football, concerts, everything else was going on. Now you'd have the same situation here. You don't have a pro team that's playing at soccer team playing at MetLife Stadium, but you've got the Jets, you've got the Giants, you've got all these other events. You have to be able to maintain it. And again, I have to be proven that a grass field at MetLife Stadium for the long term is going to be the issue. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I'd love to know if they have any statistics, field by field, like injuries by field. And I'm sure somebody has done it, but maybe we could put Wiz on that one.
That brings us to today's question. Who should replace Greg Berhalter as head coach of the United States men's national soccer team? And we have four choices for you. Jurgen Klopp, former coach at Liverpool. He seems to be the name that everybody in the soccer circles is coming up with. You also have former Red Bull, currently the coach of France national under-21 and Olympic team, Thierry Henry, who would be a good choice as well. He's been a good coach after his playing career was over. Also, Uruguay national team coach Marcelo Bielsa is a candidate. Or, if you have another choice, you click other and you comment underneath the poll on who you think should be the new head coach of the U.S. men's national team. You hear Jurgen Klopp's name mentioned a lot. Again, U.S. soccer is going to probably take a little bit of time here to kind of think about it. I'm sure they didn't make the move without putting their own short list together. Like, they don't come to this decision rashly to get rid of it. This was something that was building up, and I'm sure that the powers that be at U.S. Soccer have a name in mind, at least a number one name on their list.
I'm sure they do.
And they want to hear from the candidates because, there's different ways of building a soccer team, and you've got to be able to put a national team together here in a very, very short amount of time. You don't have the full 4 years now that you had since, you had 2 years under Greg Berhalter. Now a new coach is going to come in and look at the player pool, and they're going to have to determine, well, you know what, maybe this player doesn't fit the system that this coach wants to run. We'll drop this player from the team, bring up somebody else from the Olympic team. And that's the other thing, too. All eyes on the Olympic team this summer in Paris. And, maybe the new coach finds a diamond in the rough on that Olympic team this summer. Maybe somebody from the Olympic team gets a shot at competing, at least during the exhibition games that they're going to play for the next 2 years.
Yeah. It'll be exciting to watch. It'll be exciting to see what happens. So stay tuned.
We have a couple minutes left on the show, just enough time for this day in sports history. Wiz, sorry you got a minute.
That's fine. But on this day in 1985, the legendary pitcher Nolan Ryan became the first ever MLB pitcher to throw for 4,000 strikeouts. And that was in a game where the Astros were against the Mets. The team won. The Astros won in extra innings from a walk-off. Ryan did not get any decisions, but he did have 11 strikeouts. And
I don't
truly-
think that's ever going to get done again.
No,
no
no.
one's going to.
No, not the way they protect the arms
can't,
now.
They can't do it. You don't go. You don't go deep into games. I mean, I'd love to know how many complete games Nolan Ryan pitched in his career.
lot.
You'll just never see it again. Thank you, Wiz. You just never will get a chance to see that at all. I love watching Nolan Ryan pitch. I didn't like watching him pitch against the Yankees, but in general, I like
He's a
watching
bull.
him pitch because I remember. There was a Monday night baseball game on ABC. The Yankees went to Anaheim, and they could remember at twilight, so the shadows were a big problem. So you've got Nolan Ryan as it is, and then the Yankees trying to hit the ball through the shadows. I think he had like 16 or 17 strikeouts that night against the Yankees, so that was awful to watch. But for the most part, I enjoyed watching him. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. Arena Football League Chairman and CEO Chris Chetty is going to join us, and he's going to talk about Arena Bowl 33 coming to New Jersey at the American Dream Mall next week. And it is also Free Ticket Friday, and we're going to be giving away 4 tickets for Arena Bowl 33 on the show tomorrow, courtesy of the Arena Football League and American Dream in New Jersey. That's going to be an interesting spectacle, how they're going to sell the tickets for that game next week.
Yeah.
Some seats down low, and then there's 3 different levels of the mall that they're going to have people viewing the game from. So that's going to be an interesting spectacle, and the game will be broadcast on CBS Sports Network. So if you can't get to the game, you can see how it unfolds on television.
I went to Lord and Taylor and saw a football game.
Is Lord and Taylor an American Dream?
I don't know.
They're defunct now.
Yeah, Lord and Taylor, yeah, they're out of business.
Yes, they are.
You go to Best Buy, pick up some stereo equipment, and then go catch the football game
Right.
over at the ice rink. And that'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. For Vinny Tickets and our entire crew, this is Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching and listening. Sports Bash returns tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Have a good